Welcome to Popternative, where we dive into topical discussions from the worlds of pop culture, social media, and sports. Here is your host, Peter Remoliotis, aka PD Beats.
PD Beats here from Popternative, speaking to Chef Christan Willis about Pressure Cooker, debuting on Netflix January 6th. Welcome to the show. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me. I'm super excited.
We love food competition shows. We have an appetite for them all the time. We're starting the new year with a new one on Netflix. It's so crazy.
Yes.
Has it sunk in and it's coming out soon? Like, it's crazy.
It's so wild because we have kept this secret, I kid you not, for like a good 8 months. And
Yes.
so it's like we almost forgot about it, but then we got antsy like around like holiday season. We're like, oh no, it might come out soon. And then we're like, no, it's not. And then they hit us last minute and they're like, actually, you guys have 3 weeks. Show premieres like January 6th. Get ready. Friday, let's go. And I'm like, okay. Then you have to like backtrack and remember everything that you talked about, said, like the feelings towards it. So it's all coming back slowly.
It's so crazy. What is that kind of mindset for a cooking competition show? Because we know we have a lot of those YouTube videos and shows where people are like, this is my recipe for this, right? And like steps. But this one is like, you're in there and like you're trying to win. It's different mindsets, right?
The mindset is so real. When I tell you, well, any food competition show, like in general. So like, say you have 30 minutes on the clock, you have 30 minutes on the clock. Like no questions asked. We don't stop. Like you don't have time to discuss. So everything is real time. But it was real time for us right when we walked in through those big doors.
Yeah.
So everything changed at that moment. And I mean, the number of cameras, I will say that were embedded in the walls were crazy. So I mean, it was go time from the first step. Yeah.
But this was not your first time working on a TV show and with food and everything. So, but is there like familiar territory and unfamiliar territory at the same time? Because pressure cooker is such a unique concept a little bit.
Yes. So it's a super unique concept. But I think I kind of had a leg up in the competition, just being on like Food Network, being on major cable TV, and just kind of like being familiar with how to work the room, but also being very personable and kind of like, you have to forget these cameras are on you and you have to be yourself. So I think I definitely had a leg up. But the cool thing about this show was a lot of chefs were already on previous shows like Beat Bobby Flay. I mean, hundreds of like chop shows and stuff like that. So everybody pretty much in this competition had an experience on a previous show before.
Which is awesome. And that doesn't happen. Do some of them lie sometimes when you see their intro? They're like, oh, I've never been on a cooking show before. Then it's like, I just saw you on Guy's Grocery Games. Like, what are you talking about?
Right. I think some people actually held back from what they did.
I'm just teasing. I'm sure they don't do that. But it's not...
I mean, that's crazy. I wonder if people really do that in real life. But I mean, we don't really get to know like who each other really like is until like after the show is over. Then we're like, okay, you're an actual real human being. Okay, cool. We can be friends.
Here's a question that I'm really excited to ask you.
Okay.
Because I don't know if you were asked this much. What was there a type of cuisine or style of cuisine that you got really interested in or into after being on Pressure Cooker specifically?
You know what? I learned so much from every single chef on that show. And every chef had like a unique take, like Pan Asian or coastal cuisine. But even the way they mixed flavors and then even like the gastronomy aspect of that, like that was really cool to watch and to kind of experience. And everybody's unique point of view, like through their food and also the journey that it takes you. So I think there were some learning elements, but also some takeaway moments as well that just being in it and kind of being surrounded by 11 chefs, like you're going to pick up on something and you're going to take that home with you. So yes,
absolutely.
Of course.
I have interviewed, chefs and contestants on other shows on Food Network, and we do this segment that I want to do with you right now.
Okay.
This is a rapid fire. I'm going to say a dish, and on the top of your head, first thing you come up, how are we going to elevate the dish? If there's something we could do, okay? Do you want me to give you an example of one that we've had?
Sure.
Okay, so I said scrambled eggs, and then someone said just add a dollop of sour cream.
Ooh,
right?
Love
so
it.
just,
love
okay,
it.
Are you ready for this?
I'm ready. Let's go.
Okay.
Boom.
Meatballs.
Oh my gosh. Herbs.
Okay. Mac and cheese.
Ooh, Gruyere.
Ooh, okay. Chicken parmesan.
Ooh, that one's a tough one because that's such a classic. Can we make that into a slider?
Yeah. Oh, that's that.
Can we
Oh
make
my
that to,
god.
I
That.
mean, but it's elevated to a different way, you
Oh,
know?
absolutely.
Yeah.
Tacos.
Gosh, buddy, yeah, of course.
Okay. What about ice cream for dessert? Ice cream?
Okay, ice cream. I'm gonna say salt. This is different, but
Oh.
going on that sweet and savory moment, just like some Maldon salt on
Yeah.
top, like crispy flakes,
And
yes.
then okay, we have the ice cream, and then we're like, I'm still hungry, and it's midnight, and we go with
Yeah.
pizza. Pizza.
Oh, oh my gosh. Wow. Ooh, ooh. That's a good one. I'm gonna say brown butter.
Oh my god, where? Like on the
On the
crust?
crust, on the bottom of the crust, if you get a nice brown butter, like, thing going on, and then you put that on a hot cast iron, let that kind of like simmer up and get really nice and crispy and gooey. But that brown butter has like a different type of aroma. Usually you'll see garlic, but I like the brown butter.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
It's you just gave me so many ideas. It's just a fun thing though, right? To just think of like
It's
what
so
you could
fun.
it is, right? Like thinking of
Yes,
dishes,
yes.
but it's is it also fun thinking of those little things that could just elevate a dish? Like
Oh,
that's important
yeah.
too, right?
Absolutely, especially like being in the private chef world, like we walk into kitchens all the time and it's like, okay, what do we have to work with today? Okay, we have to make nothing into something really quick.
Mhm.
So, absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely. No, it's so
Yeah.
crazy. So it's interesting too when you watch a lot of these shows because it like shows basically the process of getting their ingredients. They go in and cook it. For you
Mhm.
specifically on pressure cooker, what was like the most challenging thing? Was it figuring out what you were gonna do, getting everything, actually making it? Like I'm just curious.
Oh my gosh. I will say that first day we were in a scramble. Okay, like it is so hilarious thinking about it because like just think about a madhouse. Like everyone's doing this in a bubble. We don't know where anything is, but we have the top of the line like equipment, ingredients. We have everything that we need. Like it's like a chef's dream kitchen. However, it's our first time walking into it and they're like, "All right, time starts now." And we're just frantic. We're running. So I think that was also like the first time like cooking in a new kitchen, but also not knowing like where stuff is.
Yeah.
That was very interesting. But yeah, I think we pulled it together though.
Does it sometimes like were you so much in the zone sometimes where it, like sometimes if you forgot that there were like like cameras around? Like did that happen a lot of
Yes.
the time filming
Yeah.
it?
Yeah. When the drinks start flowing, you start forgetting. There was a couple moments like we all kind of like decompressed and we are all just kind of getting to know each other. At that moment, like we're, just like really just trying to like build relationships at that point. And so I think the camera aspect, like we didn't think too much of it because,
Mhm.
it's genuine at that moment.
We
So
got we
yeah.
I got mesmerized by salt and ice cream and brown butter
And brown butter.
brown butter and pizza. I feel like I should have asked this at the top of the interview, but we've
I
established that
know.
this is a unique show. What can
Yes.
you tell us about pressure cooker for people to check
Wow.
out? Like why is it so unique? We should have done this in the top, but we're doing
I
it
know
now.
this should have been like, hey, that's how we're gonna start the segment. Okay, so here we go. Pressure cooker. Think Big Brother meets Top Chef, right? Top Chef in the aspect that we are all competing for a prize, but we're also competing for accolades as well. Big Brother, because we're living in a house, real world style. We're
Yes.
walking in. There's a pool table. There's a coffee bar. There's a dining room table. We have a bar in the back. I think there were three different rooms. So it's like we're all living together in this tiny space and cooking and having the best time, but also having some like real moments, emotional moments. So it's definitely a show unlike any other because there's also personal chefs, private chefs, and restaurateurs. And also, I think there's a chef consultant even on our show too. So
So
it's a diverse mix. Yeah.
what were the like off camera, off competition kind of meals like? Did you guys like experiment with recipes at all? Was there any
You
kind
know,
of like situation where someone was like in charge of making like the family dinner, so to speak? Like I'm just
Yeah,
curious about that.
that's actually really cool because so in the restaurant we have family meal, right?
Yeah.
So that's gonna happen like right before pre-shift, typically in a restaurant. So the viewers get to actually see what that's like, even though we're not in a restaurant. but it's how like every chef, grabs ingredients like, okay, I'll do the sides. Okay, I got the protein. Hey, what do you guys want to make? Pizza tonight? Fried chicken. So like we like collaborated on a lot, but it wasn't like we didn't have a lot of pressure on us to like execute it perfectly. We're just like we just want to eat good food.
You just
And
show up. Where are my
hey,
chicken
yeah,
parmesan sliders?
yeah. I mean, I know, right? Like I just woke up from a nap. I better have my food. But the cool thing is everybody pulled their weight. So I think that was also really cool to see like how hands-on every chef really was. Even when it came to like the family style aspect.
I do
So
have to
yeah.
ask this. Have
Okay.
you watched The Bear on FX yet?
Yes, of course. And
It's
I'm
like,
waiting for season two.
is it not like, okay, from like a chef perspective, like, was it just like, oh
Yeah.
my goodness, this is too relatable, right?
Yeah. If you're in it, you're in it, and you
Yeah.
will know. You will pick up on those like tidbits. Like you understand the pressure and like, okay, see, like even in our trailer, there's a ticket printing. Like you get that anxiety and you're like, okay, cool, what's on the board next?
That's episode
So
7. Yeah.
people, yeah, and I think it's really great because like, all the chefs in restaurants, people that are in the industry will probably fall in love with this show. But
Absolutely.
yeah, even people that love reality shows that don't know anything about the kitchen are gonna love this show
Pressure
too.
Cooker, January 6th on Netflix. Okay,
Yes.
so I feel like the answer to this question is going to be the people you got to work with. But I mean, I
Okay.
guess you can say that. But like, what was the best part about being part of Pressure Cooker specifically?
Wow, the best part. Wow, there were so many great moments.
When I asked that
Uh,
question, a lot of people say the people I got to
wow.
work with. So at one point, I was just kind of like,
Okay.
yeah. Is there anything else
You know
besides
it.
the people?
I mean, yeah, the chefs were great. I'm kidding. No, no, like we are all family at this point.
Yeah,
We went through this experience, this, obviously thing that no one else has done before. So an experiment. But I will say, besides the chefs and everyone's background and getting to know them, it's yeah, building those relationships were awesome. And then even outside of the show, like those friendships are definitely gonna last. But two, the ingredients, the fact that we had anything and everything that we ever wanted as chefs, like it was literally a chef's dream in that kitchen. And when you see it, it's top of the line shit. Like I will say that. So you'll love that.
January 6th, worldwide on Netflix. It's going to be so many people are going to be able to see it. That's the best part about this whole thing.
Worldwide. Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
So crazy. Chef Kristen, thank you so much for your time. It was so great chatting with you.
Peter, thank you so much. I am so excited. Thank you.
No problem. Can you plug away? So obviously we know January 6th, they're going to be able to check out Pressure Cooker on Netflix worldwide. You have
Yeah.
social media, right? Where can people follow you to keep up to date with everything?
Absolutely. On all handles, it's Chef Christan Willis. That's ChristanWillis. I have a blog. I have sorry, I do have a Twitter now. I just made one. There's not much on there. TikTok and of course Instagram is my favorite.
Awesome. Well, this has been Popturnative,
Yeah.
youtube.com/Popturnative for previous episodes. Chef Kristen Willis is going to be on Pressure Cooker, debuting January 6th on Netflix. Until next time, this is Chef Kristen Willis and PD Beats signing off.
Thank you for tuning in to Popturnative. Make sure to check out our past episodes of Popturnative on YouTube. Be sure to like Popturnative on Facebook and follow us on Twitter.
This has been an Autograph Communications production.